everyone, it's Emily again. In today's video, we are going to be switching out doorknobs. We have passage doorknobs, which are doorknobs for, say, closets that don't need a lock. We have privacy doorknobs that are for doors that have locks on them, like bathrooms or bedrooms. And I also have a dummy knob that I need to switch out, which is on, say, a double door. It's the side that doesn't have the mechanism in it, so it's just sort of decorative. So let's get started. Here's the doorknob I am switching out. Sometimes doorknobs will have screws here that you just have to unscrew to take the knob off. This kind is an older kind, or I don't know if it's older, but a different kind. I have a tab here. And what you do is you take a screwdriver and you push in that tab, and that is gonna release maybe the handle. So then the handle comes off. All right, and so then we have this brass plate that's kind of decorative that you just have to pop off. And sometimes it's pretty difficult to pop that off. So now I've exposed the screws, and I'm gonna undo these screws that will allow me to take the entire assembly off. So there's one half of the doorknob is off. I'll have to remove this assembly in the middle to get my other doorknob off. Other half is off. All right, so now everything's out. I just need to put in my new doorknob. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is put the new centerpiece in. And so the part where the door opens is gonna have the flat part next to it so that it makes it easy to close when you're closing it. So think about it this way, the slanted part goes toward the opening, right? Toward the door jamb. Okay. So I'm gonna put this one in so that way it's not sliding around and moving when I'm installing the doorknob pieces. And I'm gonna put both my feet on either side of this door so it's not moving back and forth. Hold on, if I can get them. So now I have my privacy doorknob, which means it has a lock on it. So I am in the bathroom right now, which means this is the side that I want the lock to be on, right? So I can lock it while I'm in the bathroom. And the other side has the unlock, the twist. All right, I'm gonna fit this in here. There we go. And also this is a style knob that has the screws just on the outside, so I don't have to disassemble anything to get it on. So I do have to kind of put it in there a little bit sideways and then twist it. I'm gonna get my screws out. I'm gonna get started by hand tightening it because I can tell easier if it's in the hole it needs to go into. And it is now. I'm gonna go the other side. Same thing, you can kind of feel around, make sure it's going into the hole. And I have to be kind of careful because these screws have been stripping on me pretty easily. Okay, that side is tight. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door so that I have a better angle getting to this one. And my screwdriver is kind of getting in the way, so I'm gonna do it as much by hand as I can right now. All right, so now the last part to switch out is the strike plate. All right, I have the old one off. Now I just have to put the new one on. Now we just test it. It works. The next doorknob I'm switching out today is this Passage doorknob, which is on our front hall closet. And Passage just means it doesn't have a lock, but it functions just like a regular doorknob. Let's get started. First thing I've got to do is find the notch in order to pop the handle off. And here it is right here. I just need to push this in right there and then work on getting that handle off. All right, so I pressed the notch in and pulled, and the handle is off now. So now I have to get that plate off from around it. And for this, I do not want to damage my door, so I'm gonna just put this leaflet there for me to press the screwdriver up against when I am using leverage to get it off. And I've just gotta take this side off, and I should be able to push the other handle off. And I got this side off. I should just be able to, with a little force, push this other side till it comes off, and you can kind of see it. I'm holding it with my foot, the door. All right, that side is off. Now I just have to take this middle part off. All right, I have my old doorknob off, and now I'm getting ready to put my new one on. And I have this part. You can see it can go either way, but you have to put the angle toward the way you're closing the door, okay? So that way it can slide in and latch and then be held there, right? So I'm gonna put this in first. Okay, so here is my doorknob. So this is a hall closet, a coat closet. You could put it either way, it doesn't really matter. However, you'll see this handle doesn't have any screw holes, and this one does. So I'm gonna put this one on the inside because the other side looks nicer, right? And on the inside of the closet, nobody's gonna see it. Last thing to do is the strike plate. You just remove those screws, put the new one on, screw it on, and we're done. And it's done. And the last one I'm going to switch out is this dummy handle, meaning that it doesn't work any kind of internal mechanism. It's just kind of attached to this door because this is a double door and the other side is the one that has the mechanism in it. Okay, so I have that handle off, and the next part is to get this decorative plate off. Okay, so here it goes. All right, so that's off. And so now I have exposed the two screws that screw that doorknob, the dummy doorknob, into my door. All right, and you can see, I had already taken off the top one, but you can see there's no hole in this door for any kind of mechanism. That's why they call it a dummy knob. It doesn't really do anything except for push and pull the door open, but you don't have to turn anything. Here's my new dummy doorknob and my screws, and all I need to do is attach it there. Okay, so I've run into a problem. Number one, the screw holes were not perfectly lined up with my new doorknob. And number two, the holes were not deep enough for the screws that were provided. So I can't get it fully on. So I'm gonna have to go find some shorter screws. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. The screws that were provided with these doorknobs are stripping like nobody's business. Look at all those metal filings on the end of my screwdriver. So this is kind of going to be a rough job. Okay, I got both screws out, but I think you can see these screws are a little bit cheap. This one, just from screwing it in and trying to get around the door handle, it has bent. So I'm actually, for these dummy handles, I think I'm just going to use the screws that were with my old set. They're not really going to show. So that way they'll be the correct length, and they'll probably just be a little bit off from the holes, but they're short enough, I'm not sure it's going to matter. So that's what I'm going to try. Okay, these screws are stripping just as bad as the other ones, so I'm really in a pickle here. I'm going to have to take these off and drill new holes, I think. Okay, I got the doorknob off, but what I'm wanting to do is probably turn it this way and drill new holes horizontally. But what I don't want to happen is take this doorknob off and see that its dummy holes are horizontal, and then the screws are going to hit each other inside the door. So I'm going to take this one off and see what we have underneath that. I got that one off, and the screws are vertical, so we'll be okay to move the other ones to horizontal. I've marked my holes for my new screws, and I've got my cordless drill, and I am going to drill in the holes and make sure that they are deep enough for the screws that came with the actual handle. Although the ones that I previously tried to put in are now bent and stripped, so I need to use different screws. All right, I am not gonna lie, those were kind of a pain, and see, I had to use the brass screws, which you can kind of see, but I'm just gonna get like a black Sharpie and cover over that screw head. So I've got that side done and this side done, and I already did this one. So now it's a complete set. Now I just have the whole rest of the house to do. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. See you later.